the two cops, Given, I think it was Sergeant Given and Sergeant Ritchie. Sergeant Ritchie at Devonshire Police Station and Given at West Valley, that actually communicated with me about what's going on. They were both saying the morality of what they're doing. They said they're not allowed to express political opinion. These laws, they're saying they're not responsible because the laws are badly written. They justify the bad that they do, and then when you ask about that, they say they're not allowed to express political opinion about the morality of what they do. You see that those two sentiments that both of them expressed are wrong, and that those two, there must be law, legislation. You are responsible for what you do. You have lethal force, the authority to, you have a gun on your holster that you have the authority to use, and you have handcuffs. You have handcuffs and a gun, and you have the authority to use them. And you can provoke somebody just by a false report, or just if you feel like it, because they have repeatedly done that. We've been doing that for 4 years, provoking to get a response so they can arrest or even shoot you. And that does happen maliciously. So much of that happens. For varieties of reasons, for bad reasons, okay? So then you are responsible for what you do. That we can call that the Milgram experiment law. You can't say somebody told me to do it. It's the law that I should do it. You should be able to rate the morality of what you're doing. You should, and when I ask you if a cop is doing something, I ask, do you feel you're doing the right? Is this what you're doing right? You have to answer. They usually ask questions. They want to see your supervisor, what's your name and badge number, like they're legally obligated to answer that. And they use that. The right, you should be right. How do you feel about what you're doing? If you have lethal force you're using, you should answer. You should have a heart and see is what you're doing right or wrong. If it's wrong, you shouldn't do it. You're responsible for what you're doing. You shouldn't do wrong. You should be able to rate what you're doing, the morality of it. If it's wrong, you have to use your heart and your conscience and ascertain, is it wrong? You should never do wrong. If it's wrong, you shouldn't do it. This has to be legislation. It would cut down so much sorrow, because cops do wrong and they say, we have to do it. It's the law. We don't write the law. We just enforce it. You should not do wrong, and you should be able to distinguish right from wrong. You should be able to distinguish truth from falsehood. This should be law.